Nice route by Jayden Lane on a catch. He's having a nice day. Tyler Owens is getting first team reps with the secondary. Hey, look, when I tell y'all this 2025 Washington Commanders draft class could go down as one of the best, I truly mean that. As today in training camp, we have yet another rookie showing out. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jayden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jayden Daniels' career, and he's already milking injuries? Like,
stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner, she's confident.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We got another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're recapping, what is it, day 7 of training camp now. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you help me reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to 4th and 1 and the Burgundy Breakdown. Those links are down below in the description. So, ladies and gentlemen, football is back. Tonight, we will be watching the Chargers versus the Lions as we have Hendon Hooker versus Trey Lance and DJ Ugalulululu. I don't care what it is. I'm interested to see football back on my screen. Now, getting to the Washington training camp portion of the video, we gotta talk first things about what Dan Quinn said at the podium today. Timothy McKay, remember him, the undrafted free agent that we signed, that we paid all this money to, offensive lineman from North Carolina State. He's now back in the mix. He's now finally healthy after starting training camp off on the injured list. He's finally back healthy, and he took some reps today, and he's just gonna get ramped up over the next few days to weeks in preseason and whatnot. And that's an interesting name, of course, because again, they paid a lot of money to this guy to see what he can be. He's big, physical. Maybe he's somebody that can step in and help out and be a part of this offensive line. As we know, just a couple of days ago, we had Nate Herbig step away, retire from the game, and Timothy McKay, tackle guard, he can do it both. So maybe he's a guy that they're leaning on to potentially step in and fulfill those shoes, as they did sign a former Kansas City chief offensive lineman yesterday just to kind of replace Nate Herbig as of now. But I think Timothy McKay is the guy that they want to try out at that position to see what exactly he can bring to the depth of this Washington Commanders offensive line room. I will be honest with you, Nate Herbig, in my opinion, stepping away was quite a big deal for me personally, because I felt like he was a big reason why this depth had an opportunity to be truly solid. As Nate Herbig, although he did have a really bad injury a couple seasons ago, maybe he just didn't fully recover, he was only 27 years old. So I felt like he was the perfect mixture of veteran presence, as he had years on his belt, but also had some youth in him that if he was able to get with offensive coach Bobby Johnson and the rest of the staff, maybe he can turn into a Wes Schweitzer, turn into a Chase, what's my guy's name that always came in clutch for Chase Ruley anytime he went down? Tyler Lawson. Maybe he can turn into one of those key depth pieces for Washington, but apparently, he obviously stepped away. So Timothy McKay is an interesting name. I would keep an eye out for him, as he's now finally back healthy, and he is going to be getting ramped up over the next few days, few weeks. Again, this is an important name because Washington went out their way to pay a lot of this money to him to get him to come here in Washington as an undrafted free agent. So keep your eye out for Timothy McKay. Now, getting to the on-field portion of today's practice, we are in full pads, ladies and gentlemen. It's another day for the fans to be out there. Josh Harris and Adam Peters were both spotted at Washington camp today. So it's another beautiful day out there in Ashburn. Zach Selby, of course, being one of the beat reporters on the coverage, he says, "My goodness, Javon Kinlaw ripped into the backfield on the first play of the red zone. There are a few moments where you really see the potential AP and DQ sees in him. That was one of those moments." And again, going back to Javon Kinlaw just for a second, that's exactly what he was brought here to do. Right, he was brought here to just be a disruptor in the backfield, help establish some run defense dominance. And again, a lot of people were questioning the signing of Javon Kinlaw when we first made it. And again, when you see a guy get signed by a person that has a past relationship with him, my ultimate like thinking immediately is, okay, maybe he can get the best out of him since he knows him. And statistically, Javon Kinlaw hasn't had a dominant season, but statistically proven and health-wise, the Jets' year last year was his best season that he's had since coming into the league. So maybe we're getting him at the right time where he's finally going to be able to kind of ramp up and kind of find his way. And a big season for Javon Kinlaw is just being an enforcer in the run game, and maybe 6 sacks. That's huge because I don't think he's ever had 6 sacks in his career. So to see what he's doing in training camp, being a leader, working hand in hand with Brandon Coleman as they're making each other better. He always goes out his way to get Brandon Coleman his flowers. It's interesting. And even speaking of the whole entire defensive line for a second, they have been dominating. And I remember when I was out at Ashburn a few days ago, that is a group that I've seen and I was paying attention to the most, especially down by the goal line. We were able to pretty much stop the offense in their tracks, unless it was Jayden Daniels finding a way to scramble out and just off script running into the end zone. But other than that, when it came to running the ball, the defensive line looks really good. And I don't think we're going to have a repeat of last year, but we have just running backs just having field day on us, man. Like games after games. Remember the Saquon Barkley games, right? Multiple. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs in the playoffs, and so many other good running backs, or even average Tyrone Tracy and DeAndre Swift. They were getting off on us multiple times last year due to the lack of run game and the size that we had in the defensive line. But adding a guy like Javon Kinlaw to the mix proves to be a big reason why this is no longer going to be the case this upcoming season. Moving on, Zach Selby says back-to-back touchdowns for Daniels to Zach Ertz. He is a monster in this red zone, and that's the thing that Zach Ertz thrives in the most, right? And we know Five loves Zach Ertz down there in the goal line, especially in short yardage positions and down and distances, because he's always done that in his career. Even go back to his time in Philly, right, with Carson Wentz. What was he always known for? Killing us. More importantly, getting the job done down in the red zone. And even at an older age, that's still what he thrives in the most. And back-to-back days or back-to-back plays, Daniels was able to connect with Zach Ertz for a touchdown across the middle of the back of the end zone. And that connection, I think, is just going to only get better. As we know, Zach Ertz loves playing with Jayden Daniels. And he says he wished he was 22 so he could play with him his whole entire career. And we know that connection is like no other. And it wouldn't surprise me if Zach Ertz had yet another stellar year. Even though I'm not expecting him to like kind of do what he did last year. I'm not expecting it. But if he does, if he finds a way to stay healthy again for all 17 games like he did last year, it wouldn't surprise me if Zach Ertz was able to put up similar, if not better, numbers than he did last season. Moving on, you have Bill, obviously Jacory Krosky-Murray, a guy that has been dominating camp in both on the field and in fan eyes. He says, with an impressive run off the tackle, then another run opposite side, and Noah I came downhill. Real game, that would have been a collision. So he had a nice solid run. Bill continues to impress. Noah Igbenogany, can we take some time to give him his flowers? When I was there in Ashburn, this dude had a PBU that the collision, if it was a real game, that dude would have been out. Like, for real. Noah Igbenogany broke on that pass so fast, and he was so physical on that play. It was amazing. And to have him now as your fourth cornerback, oh, man, we're in good hands. He was good last year as a starter, but now he doesn't have to play every single down. He can come in, play different packages, come in, and be on a snap count. This guy is good. And I think a lot of people lose sight that he was a first-round draft pick, I think, out of Miami. Miami drafted him. And because he had a slow start to his career, people forgot how talented he was, touted coming out of this draft. And now it seems like he's finding his groove here in Washington. As headed into year 2, he's continuing to take monumental leaps forward as well. But another great run by Bill, man. He continues to make noise. He says 4 pads and depth, most heavy run practice so far. Run game looks good. Love to hear that. And hopefully this run game is definitely improved, especially with Bill. And maybe B-Rob can be a nice 1-2 punch for this upcoming season. Little quick injury update potentially. No team reps again for Marcus Mariota. Haven't seen tight end been sent on the field today. Not sure what is up. They'll probably ask them post practice. You had Sam Hartman, all verts I should say, at this time. Missed a few on one drop back, but connected with Lane on another one. And then this is a really nice route by Jayden Lane on a catch. He's having a nice day. And that's where I talked about the rookie class continuing to impress, because it seems as if every single day there's always one of these rookies that's balling from this past draft class, right? Trey Amos has been the star of the show when it comes to the rookies thus far, right? Then the other day you had Kane Madrano catch a crazy pick, right? And then you had Jayden Lane have a crazy catch, and he's continuing to impress. This draft class has the opportunity to go down as really one of them ones. And the crazy thing about it that I think makes it so loving is the fact that most of these guys are going to able to contribute come week 1. There's not many guys that we drafted this past year that you sit back and say, okay, he has to wait year 1, year 2, before he blossoms. No. Josh Conley Jr. is expected to be this team's starting right tackle headed into week 1. Trey Amos is expected to be this team's second boundary corner headed into week 1. Jayden Lane is expected to be this team's starting punt returner headed into week 1 and a key contributor to the offensive side of the ball, whether it's slot, whether it's trick plays, whatever may have you. These guys are expected to be contributing day 1. So seeing them in training camp and seeing them continue to blossom, it's great. It's great to hear. Moving on, though, we have now Lionel Willingham on the coverage. It says Deebo touchdown on a nice ball from Jayden on a fade route. Jacob Martin once again with a really good rush on that play. Jayden and Deebo have had a nice connection during camp. So Jacob Martin's a name that I think a lot of people forgot about, because when we signed Von Miller, it seemed like a lot of people were just quick to push him out, right? Jacob Martin, he's gone. He's gone. But he has a lot of untapped potential, right? This guy's an athletic freak. I remember I made a video about him when we first signed him. He's an athletic freak. And it just, for whatever reason, hasn't been able to been put together through his past stops. Whether it was Denver, whether it was, I believe, Chicago. He hasn't been able to put it together. Now here in Washington, he's seeming to have yet another good camp, and I'm really eager to see what he does in this preseason for the snaps that he gets, because Von Miller being here is a great addition. But if you can have a guy that, I'm not going to say is a Von Miller type, because no one's Von Miller, but in terms of a third down situation and you need to go rush the passer, I feel like that's where Jacob Martin comes into play as well. If it's not Frankie Louisville, or if you want to have Frankie Louisville standing up as a backer and sending him rushing through the middle over top of the guard in the center, and you have Von Miller coming off the edge and then Jacob Martin coming off the edge, oh man, it can get scary. So just continue to keep an eye out for Jacob Martin, honestly, here. Moving on, you have another play here by Jacob Martin. Again, nice rush from Jacob Martin on Andrew Wiley. Flush Jayden out the pocket, dead play. So that's back-to-back rushes by Jacob Martin that seems to be getting the eyes of one Lionel Willingham. Next, you have really nice patience on the route from Jayden Lane. He just made another nice play in this short space. Nice day from him as well. Joint practices are going to be big for him as well. So KJ Osborne with the touchdown in coverage, with Quan in coverage, little fade route, good throw from Sam Hartman. Jayden Lane, obviously touchdown from Sam Hartman as well. This is, I don't know how many opportunities he'll get early, but Jonathan Jones is just a solid as they come. Good camp from him. So it seems like this whole entire secondary is just having a really good camp, and I'm not surprised. Again, when I was feet on land, when I was out there in Ashburn, that is something that I immediately recognized, especially with Trey Amos and Mikey Sanders. This cornerback room is all of a sudden one of the best that we've had in a while. And this is not me being a fandom and me just saying this just to say this, because we've seen some bad cornerback play. Just last year, this was one of the worst positions on the team, if not the worst. And now it's one of our strengths. And Jonathan Jones being a savvy Super Bowl vet is a big reason as to why we can finally say that. My guy Tyler Owens is getting first team reps with the secondary. This guy is going to go down as a special talent. If he finds a way to get first team reps this preseason and training camp, wherever it may have you, he's going to go down as a special guy, because being undrafted, working your way up from special teams, then you find a way to get on the field with the safeties, that's like no other. He's physical, tall, huge, but he looks big out there, man, and he flies around like he runs a 4.3. He could be on the Jeremy Reeves trajectory, but slightly better upside. And the thing is, Joe Witt said, like, he has to find ways to get all these guys defensive snaps. So I don't want to take too much away from him getting first team reps, but it's interesting because he wasn't getting those last year, and now that we are in second year of camp and he's looking good again, maybe, just maybe, there's something with Tyler Owens being able to contribute on the defensive side of the ball here. But there you all have it from me today, ladies and gentlemen. Nice little solid camp day as we continue to get through Washington Commanders training camp. It's your man Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate if you reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Never gave a bomb, ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a lawn.